to another episode of the Bella Grace podcast, where we are helping you transform your life, mind, body, and soul. Whether you are struggling to find balance, using unhealthy behaviors or substances to cope, or you just want to unlock the root cause of what's holding you back from living your best life, Bella Grace Coaching can help you transform your life, mind, body, and soul. And this week we're doing that by talking about
anger management.
Yes. Anger, stress, and anxiety management. Yes.
Yeah.
All the things.
All the things. Not all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Let's
do it.
If you can learn to manage your anxiety,
your anger,
and your stress level, and I'm not talking about like clinical anxiety, I'm talking about day to day, like just anxieties that we have as humans, right? Because clinical anxiety is a major thing. If you need medication for that, there's no shame in it. But I'm talking about like the daily, day-to-day anxieties that we all experience. So, yeah. So, and this could help someone who has an anxiety disorder. You never know. But so,
or someone who just walks around with a big bag of anger.
Yeah. So you shared with me right before we started recording that you used to have anger issues.
I did.
So explain.
I did. I used to have anger issues for several reasons. Part of it was because of my childhood trauma and all the things that were out of my control. And I just held in a lot of emotions that I shouldn't have. And then it builds up and they can just manifest in your life in many ways. But yeah, I used to have such bad anger years ago, and where I wouldn't talk about my feelings, or should I say I didn't know how to express my feelings in a healthy way, or talk about or communicate about my feelings in a positive way. And communicate what my needs were as well. So I would just suppress and suppress and suppress, and also because I couldn't deliver my message to individuals around me because they would get defensive if I brought something up, or I was constantly shut down and told to not speak, and all of that can just cost a lot of emotions to where they turn into anger. So
I know your story, and I know that like when you did speak out about how you were feeling about certain situations, you were told that you were being dramatic, you were told that you
sensitive.
You were too sensitive. Oh, that's just how Rosie is. Like all those things. And so as people do that, like you were trying to communicate, I don't feel comfortable in this situation.
Like I don't like this, or I don't feel safe, or I'm not okay with this. And people around me constantly kept labeling me to the point where it made me so angry, because I knew I was feeling a certain way, but I knew that wasn't who I was. But certain things would trigger that.
You weren't the person that they were saying that you were. You were simply trying to express your emotions.
So for a very long time, I just carry a lot of anger and emotions inside of me, and I would just suppress them until I would blow up. On people or situations, certain things, and that was horrible, and I hated it, because after that would happen, I was strained. I would get headaches.
Did you feel any, like, what did you feel after that?
I felt shamed and embarrassment. I just felt like
icky, like dirty, like
like it's just an uncomfortable situation, especially when you blow up to people that had nothing to do with it, but they just trigger something, and it's just like it was bad. It was just like I wanted to dig a hole and like go in there and like hide my face.
Yeah, because you're like a pressure
Yeah.
cooker, right? So
Mhm.
like an Instapot. I know
Yeah.
everybody has Instapots these days, but the Instapot, like you put the ingredients in, you add
Mhm.
the water, you put the lid on, and you turn the sealer to seal, right? Like
Yeah.
there's sealing and there's steaming settings. So you put
Mhm.
it to seal. And so you've put in all these emotions, you've put in all these experiences,
Mhm.
and you've turned off the steam button so
Yeah.
nothing can get out.
Yeah.
And the temperature rises and rises and rises and rises, and there's this pressure building, right? And that's what cooks our food. But when it's an emotional pressure, it just builds and builds
Mhm.
and builds until the pressure gets so much that your steam seal button releases and you just go and all that pressure gets released. And for you, it came out in anger.
Yeah, in a negative way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and most of the time, I would break things.
Ah.
I'm a breaker.
Yeah. Okay.
I would break
okay.
things. Like if I was in the kitchen and something made me so mad, I would just,
And throw a plate or
yeah.
throw a mug. Or, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it would just, I would express myself that way.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it, but afterwards it felt good.
Yeah. Because if
Just,
you released
but it
But-
wasn't a complete,
no, it was that instant, like, and then the shame came in.
yeah.
And
But it's
guilt.
like I broke something, but I felt like I could have broken it better way, or that, or just, it was like,
that wasn't good enough.
no, it wasn't. It's like I didn't let it all the way out. Like I just,
No, you know what it was?
what?
Okay. So just like a heroin junkie
Mm.
or any addict.
Guys, I don't like when
I do-
Teresa does this to me. Why should do
So just like any addict, and I use the word heroin junkie. I'm sorry, that's probably offensive, but it's just traditional word, whatever. But when an addict gets that first high, and it is the best thing in the world, they're like, oh my gosh, that felt so good. I want to do it again. And next time they do it, the rush isn't as good. So they do more, right? They're like, okay, well, then I need more to achieve that initial rush. Like, it must be that I didn't do enough. And so then they do more. And then the next time they're like, okay, well, I almost got there last time. It's not near as good as that very first time. So I'm going to do a little bit more. And it's the same thing. Like, your brain, that initial rush of having broken the plate
Wow.
was so quick, but it was so good and so relieving that your mind is like, I need to do it better next time, or I need to break another plate because I need that rush again. And
Until
so
I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Man, I could have gone through like a set of like 100 plates and I would have felt good. Maybe I would have stopped at 50, but it was just like,
but you wouldn't have, because it's the same feeling.
you think so?
Yeah,
okay.
no, you wouldn't have felt any better. Your brain would have been telling you, break another plate, break another plate, break another
but
plate.
I didn't.
You're gonna feel
I was
better,
like,
you're gonna feel better. But you wouldn't have. And that shame and guilt would have creeped in.
I'm gonna need
as
that
soon as
plate
you were
later
done.
to eat. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
chemical. It's like,
That's crazy.
because and it's the same thing with like self-harm, right? Like the self-harm releases, it's a release.
Ooh.
But what they're feeling is the rush of endorphins from the pain of the cut. And so it's an immediate, and when you get that rush of endorphins, it's almost euphoric. Like there is some pleasure in it because it's your body's way of like relieving you from the pain that you were feeling. But your body naturally wants more.
Wow.
And so that's why self-harm is so hard to stop, is because there's that pain, release, craving. And then there may also be the shame and guilt, that's what keeps us wanting to stop. But it's that pain, release, craving cycle that keeps us doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. But well,
So anyway,
that was,
I digress.
yeah. So So I knew that the reason why I was doing it is because I was so angry and then
Mhm.
there was just so much build up and I knew I wasn't expressing it the right way.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there has to be another way. I was like, man, I can't be doing this. Like, I can't be buying plates all the time because I
Yeah.
break them. Like, I can't, you know?
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, that anger was coming from somewhere. There was still an open wound that
Mhm.
needed healing, that needed disinfecting. There's a root
Yeah.
that needed to be dug out.
Yeah.
So
We talked about gardening last week and getting to the root cause. In case you missed it, go back and listen. Anyway,
yeah, grab a machete and start like
whacking away.
some branches. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, but I knew that's what it was, but I couldn't help myself.
Mhm.
I just knew that I had a problem and it wasn't a healthy one.
Yeah.
So, and I just had like these bursts of anger
Mhm.
and it all had to do obviously with the unhealed parts of me.
Mhm.
So when I finally did something about it, and I didn't know this helped me till it was no longer there. But I was telling you that, I know a lot of people know this, that now I go to the gym, but
Mhm.
I didn't always go to the gym. I did work out, but it wasn't like I now.
Yeah.
But now it's I joined the gym and I realized that whenever I was stressed or had anxiety or anger, that's where I mostly just took it out. Like if I had other things that I couldn't, the gym can't solve everything.
Yeah.
At least not for me. Like I've know that now. But it's just when I feel so angry or I'm stressed or something is
Mhm.
going on, I just like push it, press it.
Yeah.
But I take it out in a different kind of way. I'm getting it out. Like it's not in there
Yeah.
hurting me,
Mhm.
bottling up to
Yeah.
where I'm just gonna explode. And I just realized that. I was like, wow, like I don't have anger issues like I used to. And that's because when you work out, your muscles apparently release certain,
Toxins.
yeah, that heal your nerve system,
Mhm.
heals your overall body, and it's amazing. And I was like, whoa. So
Yeah.
that's what helps me with my anger.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is, there's scientific proof, but
Yeah.
it is, so when my stepson died and my daughter was grieving,
Mm.
um, that was one of the things that I told her, because one of the stages of grief is anger.
Yeah.
And I told her, it's like, you're allowed to be angry, but you can't hold the anger inside. It needs to come out. And it can't, it should not be in an unhealthy way. Like
Yeah.
blowing up at us is not okay. Blowing up at your friends is not okay. Self-harm is not okay. Like we need to find a healthy way to get the anger out.
Mhm.
So that's why we have that boxing, the
Mm.
bag out there, the boxing
I was
bag.
wondering about
Mhm.
that. I have unboxing gloves also at home.
Yeah, that's why we have it. We have boxing gloves and the bag, the
But I
punching
don't use
bag.
them.
Because when she was grieving, she would come out here and she would punch the bag
And I felt good.
and it helped her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also got her like a basket full of like soft toys,
Hmm.
soft balls and animals and stuff that she could throw at the wall. And I was like, I don't care how hard you throw them at the wall
Mm.
and get some of that anger out. You've got to get the anger out. Like you have to work it out of your body.
Yeah. But it's also good to talk about it, get to
Yeah.
the root of it and say, okay, first acknowledge and say, okay, I'm angry, or I can feel myself getting angry right now. What's triggering this
Yeah.
anger? Or like, okay, I need to sit down.
Yeah. But also knowing
Hmm.
that that's what you're feeling. Because
Hmm.
I always tell people, like, you ask someone, how are you doing? And we kind of talked about this with Joe on the men's mental health
And I was
podcast.
like,
Yeah. And he said, oh, I'm doing fine. Or, oh, I'm tired. Or, oh, I'm just really busy. But digging down into that, because a lot of people don't know what they're feeling. They know that they are upset or they know that they're mad, but they don't know why and they don't know what. So
Ooh,
actually being able to name your feelings, but even deeper than that is being able to recognize when the feelings are coming on.
okay. Let's stop right there.
Okay.
So I am a preschool teacher and we
Mhm.
talk about feelings and emotions and all the
Yeah.
stuff. We deal with a lot of tantrums, we deal with a lot of anger outbursts and feelings and everything.
Yeah.
And that's
Part of it.
emotionally, physically, mentally overwhelming all
Yeah.
the time. So one thing that I've learned when one of my student, I can sense that they're getting angry or irritated or big feelings are coming out. I
Mhm.
tell them, hey, I can see that you're angry right now. I can see that you're getting irritated. Is it because this person took this toy away from you?
Mhm.
Or is it because you're not getting your way?
Mhm.
And then they stop and think about why they're angry. They're
Mhm.
like, well, oh, it's because they took my toy away.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry they took your toy away. Okay, how about we play with a different kind of toy? And if they're like, no, but I want that one. Okay, I understand you want that one. So it's like we have to, as teachers or as parents or person who's working with children, you know that you have to try to help them resolve or self-regulate that emotion and
Yeah.
come up with the solution. But it
Mhm.
helps the student also to realize and think of, and stop and think about their feelings. And I feel like that training actually helped me also
Yeah.
because I was able to stop and say, oh, I'm getting angry right now. What is making me angry right now?
Mhm.
Okay, I need to stop, take a breather. Like I need to walk out right now because I can sense that I'm getting stressed or irritated.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would just distract myself or just calm down
Mhm.
because I know that if I don't, I'm just gonna end up like doing some damage on people who have nothing
Yeah,
to
to
do.
do with
And
what's
it's
going
not,
on.
yeah, and it's not others, people's responsibility
Mhm.
to help you with your emotions. It is your own
Yeah.
because they're your emotions. You're the only one feeling them. No one else is out there.
Yeah.
And if something is triggering you and you know that's not a good thing because it's going to leave you shame,
Yeah, and guilt and
yeah, then you
Mhm.
need to stop and think, okay, I need to take a few breaths.
Yeah.
Remove myself from the situation because it's not going to be good for me and them. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what does anger feel like in your body?
I can feel like I'll start warming up.
Yeah. Heat.
Heat. I can
Where does it
sense
start?
a rush. Oh, in here.
In your
Oh
chest.
yeah, my
Yeah.
son got me mad
Yeah.
a few days ago. And I felt the instant rush. And I never thought about it or felt it until that day.
You didn't realize it.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't. I was
Mhm.
just angry. But that day, for some reason, it's like the good Lord just stopped me and made me realize certain things. And it came within here, and it's from your heart because
Yeah.
that's where you feel all the feelings.
Mhm.
And I started feeling something here warm
Heat. Yeah.
all over and a rush of blood everywhere. And I can feel it on my face and
Yeah.
my whole body. And
Your
I was
ears.
just,
Do your ears get hot? My
yeah,
ears get hot when I get
yes.
mad. Yeah.
Yeah. And and I was like,
Yeah.
and my teeth were like,
Yeah, so you feel the tension.
yeah.
You feel the heat in your chest first. And I want to break it down because a lot of people don't know how to identify your feelings. And you even
No.
said that it wasn't until this past week that you like realized
Oh
it.
no, I get angry,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize how
How
intense.
yeah, it there is a physical manifestation of your feelings before
Yeah.
you have a mental realization that you are feeling them. So
Yeah.
it is important to know the feelings in your body that happen when you feel certain feelings.
And I think the reason why I didn't realize it before is because when you're hot-headed or you're just short-tempered or there's certain things that you just they trigger you that anger, it comes up really easy, boom.
Yeah.
But this was a slow one where it just like I don't know what happened. All I can tell you is that I was able to feel it like
Coming on.
yeah, and I never experienced that before.
Mm.
Before it was just like, oh, I'm angry, like real
Yeah.
quick. No, this one was like, it was like a little flame, and I I felt every fiber of my being like,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, that's amazing how you can, if you're thinking or you're centered and focused on what you're feeling,
Mhm.
you can sense where it's coming from
Mhm.
and why. And it's like you can experience it and then just like, wow,
So
and you don't have to express it even
yeah.
though you're feeling it. You don't have to shout, you don't have to stump, you don't have
Mhm.
to like bite your like or
Husband's head off
yeah, or whatever it is.
or
You're just
clench your
like,
teeth.
yeah. And I was just like, whoa. And I was like, oh my God, I was angry and I
Yeah.
felt it. And I took a deep breath when I felt that.
Mhm.
And I stopped. And I think after that, I just started laughing.
So you were
Because it's such
having
an intense feeling. It's crazy.
no, so what you are experiencing is an awareness because
Oh, wow. That's sad. I'm finally having an awakening. and
because we spend
Mhm.
so much time talking about this stuff,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah, all the time.
your mind is finally awakened to the fact that there is a mind body connection. You may have always
Mm.
been aware of it, like you've
Mhm.
always probably like thought about it, but
Yeah.
over the time that we've been doing this podcast together, I have exposed you
To
to
everything.
yeah,
To
to
everything.
different
I'm her guinea
things.
pig.
Yeah, to
Like,
different things that make
yes.
you aware of how the
Mhm.
mind
She's
works,
You
right?
taught me, yeah, you definitely taught me a lot. A lot of it is part of my
Mhm.
experience that
Yeah.
I learned from, but you also have been teaching me a lot on how your mind body works.
Mhm.
And I think that's amazing because I caught myself in that. And before I would just felt it.
It would just would have happened, right? Like you
Yeah.
just would have been angry.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is like now somewhere in your brain
And we as
is
parents get angry all the time at our kids or everything or
yeah,
anything like traffic or,
yeah.
I mean,
You get
anything
set
can
off
make
by
you.
any little thing, but
Yeah.
now your brain is aware
Yeah.
of the mind body connection.
Mhm.
So, little things like that, when you start to feel things in your body, your brain is like, hey, Rosie, hey, stop, stop, stop. Let's think about this. And that's why it was a slow come on is because your brain is now aware and it's like okay we're gonna actually think about this, we're actually gonna like analyze what's going on here, but until you have that awakening, that awareness that there is a mind body connection, you can't stop yourself. You can't have it be a slow come on because then it is a rush. It's before you know it, the anger has hit and then it's over.
Mhm.
But once you start to be aware of the fact that there is a mind body connection, then your mind is like, hey, we're getting mad, we're getting mad, we're getting mad. And you can slow it down and start to say, okay, I feel my chest warming up. I feel the tension.
Mm.
My jaw has tightened. My ears have, okay. So what happens is you have a physical manifestation of the feeling, then there is a realization in your brain that the feeling is happening. But the next step is then an action on the feeling. But the time that it takes for you to have the body experience, have the realization, you don't, until you are aware that that is happening, you don't have time to catch it before you have the action happen.
Mhm.
So it is so quick that you don't even have time to realize that you are having a reaction to the emotion. Like it happens so fast that your body heats up, you get the tension, your jaw clenches and you act. But once your brain has been turned on to the fact that there is this mind body reaction connection, then your mind is able to slow it down and alert your brain to say, I feel the body reaction happening. So I need to start slowing it down and changing my distracting myself. I need to go do a breathing exercise. I need to do whatever it is so that you get off the path before the reaction happens.
Mhm.
So you start to recognize the feelings. Okay, my chest is tightening. I need to go walk away before I react. Do you see what I mean? Like there's this,
Yeah.
but it doesn't happen. And I always ask people, I'm like, okay, so how does it feel when you get angry? And then how do you react?
Mhm.
Because if you can interrupt that, it's how you feel and then how you react, how you feel physically and then how you react. If you can interrupt that, then you won't react. You may, but you at least you can
I've gotten
delay it.
so good at like not reacting to my anger. Like I
Yeah.
said, I think it's because I express it in a
In the gym.
healthier way. Yeah. But that was the first time in a while where I was just like triggered, and that's when I felt it. But oh man, then like I can recall so many times where I wouldn't deal with it in a healthy way, and it just made me look like I was crazy when I wasn't. It was just like that emotion that I was having trouble expressing it in a positive way.
Yeah.
And anger doesn't always have to be a negative thing.
No.
Sometimes anger is there to teach you things and show you like what works and what isn't, and
Yeah.
what is taking your peace away.
Anger
Yeah.
is a good, excuse me, anger is a good
Yeah.
indicator that a boundary needs to be set.
Yes. That something isn't okay, that something
Yeah.
doesn't feel right, that something is hurting you, causing you anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we talked about the gym being a way to manage anger, but it can be a way to manage stress, anxiety, any emotion
Yeah.
that is overwhelming.
Depression.
Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, like any emotion that is overwhelming you, the gym is a great resource. I always suggest breathing exercises with my clients. I do it myself. Like whenever I can
And
feel
why do
myself.
you suggest breathing exercises?
So breathing naturally lowers your heart rate, right? If you can do box breathing, you
Calms
can
you
do,
down.
yeah, there's all kinds of like different breathing exercises out there. The military does one, so to help like soldiers fall asleep fast. And I think it's like a 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 breathing exercise or something. I can never remember. But either way, the idea is to slow your heart rate down because you said that anger starts in your chest, right? And it's this heat. Well, what's creating the heat is a raised heart rate.
Yeah.
Because it makes your body think that you are in fight or flight mode. It makes your body think that you are about to fight. So it starts to increase your heart rate, like it starts to warm up your body. Yeah. So the idea with breathing exercises is to bring the heart rate back down.
Yep.
And so I like
Send
box breathing.
oxygen to your lungs and your brain to where you're calmer and you can think clearly. You're self-regulating your emotions.
Yeah, because whenever you're in fight or flight mode, it activates like the archaic part of our brain. So we literally, all we can think of is fight, flight, or freeze. Like, so you need to like flood your brain with oxygen to reactivate your brain, like wake it up so that you can make a sound decision. And so I love breathing exercises, box breathing. It's in for 4, hold it for 4, out for 4, hold it, and then you repeat it 4 times.
Okay.
And it
we have those same breathing exercises for the children because it helps them to calm down and for them to also stop crying and use your words.
Yeah. It brings some peace back to you.
Yeah.
I always say that like you first give yourself permission to feel the feeling, whether it's being anxious about a meeting or fearful or sad or happy or excited. Like, yes, it's okay to feel those feelings. You are allowed to have those feelings.
Yeah, and you have valid reasons.
Yeah, and you need to feel the feelings. If you're angry, you need to feel angry. But the idea is to express them in a healthy way or to calm yourself enough so that you can express those feelings verbally and get them out.
Remember that when we were talking about hoarding,
Mm-hmm.
where I told you the girl said something so important and it stuck with me? She said, feelings come up because they need to get out.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Because
right.
if you store them in, they cause anger issues, they cause depression, they cause a
Mhm.
lot of health issues as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anxiety, substance use, like the list goes on and on.
On and on. Yeah.
Emotions are there for a reason. They're
Mhm.
there to keep us safe. They're there to bring us joy, but they don't have to control you.
No.
And you can use things like working out, breathing exercises, journaling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a friend that was like, I don't want to journal because I'm afraid of all of the emotions that are going to come up. But
Ooh.
it is a good
Yeah,
thing.
it is. It helped me a lot. Like when I was younger in high school and I
Yeah.
used to journal. I still journal, just not as often.
Yeah.
And I'm also scared someone's gonna find it and like, you know.
Yeah.
But it does help because
Oh,
then you're like,
what happened?
I don't know. But then you can look and say, "Oh, I'm angry."
Yeah.
This I got angry. Let's say I was in the kitchen, I was cooking, and I started getting angry because my eggs got burnt.
Yeah.
And then you can say, I know if I would have been more careful and been more focused on my eggs, they wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
burnt next time. And it helps you to like process your feelings
Mhm.
and come up with a better strategy on how you can come up with the solution actually. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't like.
Yeah, so it journaling can be therapeutic. It can be a little scary.
Mhm.
I always tell people like, yes, journaling is great, but you need to do it in a safe place and have your safe person on speed dial. Because if it does get to be too much, like you want to make
Mhm.
sure that you have someone that you can reach out to, that you can say, hey, I was journaling, it brought this stuff up, and I'm not okay. Can you come over? Or can we go grab coffee? Or can you call me?
Mhm.
So that you can try to process it, because you never want to get into a dark space and be there alone.
Where you get stuck and you go down the rabbit hole and
Right.
you don't know how to.
How to get out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So journaling is very therapeutic, but just do it with caution, like be
Okay.
careful with it.
Yeah.
Because it can be very, very overwhelming. Um, I also like if stress at work is a lot, like going for a walk helps. When I was in the
Mhm.
office, when I would get
That
really
helps me too.
emotionally overwhelmed, I would just go walk around the building. Like go walk around the floors or go outside and walk around the outside of the building. Yes, you look crazy. People are going to look at you like you're nuts, but oh well. Like I used to go for a walk. I would walk a mile on my 15-minute break. And it was
Mm.
literally like I had mapped it out and it was around the entire campus of our complex, like the city complex. And so I would get out and I would take my 15-minute break. And I was really diligent about taking a 15-minute break in the morning and a 15-minute break in the evening or in the afternoon. And on my 15-minute break, I would go outside and I would set a timer and I would walk for 15 minutes. It was usually about a mile.
Mm.
And so I would walk 2 miles a day during the day. And on my
That's
lunch
good.
break, I would eat for 30 minutes and then I would nap because I'm a napper and I need a nap to feel good.
I'm a
So,
rapper too.
yeah, so I would eat my lunch and then I would tell my staff because we all took lunch in the office, like we locked the doors and like,
Yeah.
but we all three sat at our desk. So I had a nap station under my desk and I would pull out my pillow and my blanket and I would crawl under my desk and I would fall asleep.
So you're like a little.
Like a preschooler had that time.
I love that. Yeah, I know.
It's what I needed to do to
Yeah.
maintain my sanity.
Mhm.
And it worked. Like I found a thing that worked for me, and
Yeah.
it was walking and napping in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I didn't always fall asleep during my nap time, but at least like I would crawl under my desk where was totally alone. And even if I just popped on some relaxing music in my earbuds and just laid there and listened to music,
Yeah.
that was sufficient enough. The idea was to relax for some time in the middle of the workday.
Have you seen those memes where they're like, sorry, I just needed a break. I just needed to eat. I was just I was hangry
yeah.
because I needed to eat or I needed to nap.
Yeah.
Like, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Sorry,
like
I'm
that,
not
like,
myself when I'm hungry or sleepy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I realized I suffer from that condition
Yeah.
as well. I need
Yeah.
food and I need to sleep, just
Yeah.
like toddlers. And I
Yeah.
realize that a lot of people just underestimate
Yeah.
children
Mm-hmm.
because we're all children, just in adult bodies.
Yeah.
And but we express it differently, and they throw tantrums, they
Mhm.
cry, they throw things, they hit each other, they bite, they
Yeah.
kick, and I realize we're the same way, and a
Mhm.
lot of us are better at expressing it,
Mhm.
self-regulating our emotions,
Yeah.
and some of us don't because we
No.
were never taught from a young age
Yeah.
how to self-regulate our emotions, how to feel them, and know that it's okay, and to have someone else help us through that walk till we're okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just really how it is. We're
Yeah.
all just
We're all toddlers walking
yeah.
around with scalpels and stethoscopes. It's my favorite line from Grey's Anatomy.
I haven't watched Grey's Anatomy in
I
a
love Grey's
while.
Anatomy, but yeah, there
You learn
he
so
was like,
much.
"You're all a bunch of toddlers with scalpels." It's a patient. They're fighting over him.
Oh,
And then, like later, Meredith is like, "Yeah, we're just all toddlers walking around with scalpels and stethoscopes."
you're right.
Yeah,
Taking blood samples, urine samples, and
yeah,
giving you just drugs.
yeah.
Yep.
But it is important to have some tools that you can use to help you deal with your emotions, deal with the
Yeah.
stress of work, so that you're not coming home and drowning your stress in a bottle of wine or smoking your life away or whatever it is, or just being miserable
Mhm.
all the time. It is important to use things to help diffuse your emotions, diffuse the situation so that you're not left feeling shameful and full of guilt.
Yeah.
And you said exercise. I said breathing exercises, journaling, walking, getting
Yeah.
outside, having a hobby is
Mhm.
another good way to deal with stress and anxiety.
Yeah, a healthy hobby
Mhm.
that makes you happy, where you're feeding more of your good feeling, and not that expressing your horrible feelings like sad and anger, it's bad. No, because those are still good emotions that teach you valuable things, and but I mean, it can always be perceived as a bad thing. I
Yeah.
think society always thinks of it as a bad thing, but anger is actually your
It can
friend.
be a
It
good
can
thing.
teach
Yeah.
you anxiety too, even
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
Like
They're all there for a
we,
reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
we just have to learn to define where it's coming from, how to get to the root of it, and what find a solution.
Yeah.
How can we? This helps us like just grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last one that I touched on was quiet time. I did quiet
Yeah.
time under my desk, and usually it ended up napping, but you can do quiet time in your car before you get out of your car when you get home from work. Take 5 minutes in the garage or in the driveway and just breathe and prepare yourself for going in and interacting with your family, or take 5 to 10 minutes and just lay in your bed with the lights off in your bedroom. If you work from home, it can look like turning off the computer or logging out for 10 minutes and going and sitting on the couch and just sitting. Maybe you listen to calming music, or maybe you go lay in your bed for 10 minutes, whatever it is, but getting some quiet to turn your mind off
Yeah.
can help to lower the anxiety and the stress and the big emotions that you're feeling.
That's good.
Yep. All right. Got anything else?
No, just yeah. Don't
Yeah.
go around punching people.
Yeah, don't go around punching
That's
people.
not healthy. That's
It's,
not gonna take you
it's not
anywhere.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until
Yeah.
next week, guys, be well, be kind, and may you find some joy this week. Bye.
Bye.